It's the next morning, and Corinne is making pancakes for us. We had a good night's sleep in the truck last night. Virtually no wind until a little bit this morning, so that was terrific. And it looks like the first pancakes are coming off. She's actually sitting and enjoying her pancakes.
With peanut butter. If you haven't tried it, you got to get it.
Yeah, crunchy peanut butter, even better. And maple syrup, but only real maple syrup. And I've taken over cooking duties, which means the last pancake isn't going to be made nearly as well. But I'll give it my best shot. Hi folks, and welcome back to another Travels of Red Rover. After breakfast we got underway, and we are going to do the last part. This is part 3 of the second section of the Utah BDR, or Backcountry Discovery Route. In this video, we will travel from Butler Wash Road to Blanding, Utah. We sure hope you enjoy the video. So we have come back to 163. This is the main road that takes you between Blanding and Natural Bridges. We're going to go up here a couple miles and then turn back onto dirt. So we're back on dirt again. And on Butler Wash Road, and this is the trek from here. This ends up in Blanding. There are quite a few little campsites along here. There's some roads that just go off this main road, and we see lots of folks out there camping. And pretty good camp spots if you needed a camp spot. Butler Wash Road was in exceptionally good shape when we were there. It is mostly a dirt gravel road with periodic deeper sand spots, but otherwise quite passable. There's quite a bit of sand on this road. Actually kind of fun, actually, just driving through it. Hills beside us, with the driver's window. Corinne tells me they are the backside of Comb Ridge. So this part of the trail that we are driving through appears to be in Bears Ears National Monument. It doesn't surprise me too much. Bears Ears is really, really huge.
Lots of hiking trails.
And there are also a lot of hiking trails along here as well. So we just took the left road. When you come to Road 230, stay to the left. That keeps on the track for BDR. Pretty outcrops on our right-hand side here. Red on the bottom, white on top. That is Fishmouth Cave up there. Very impressive. In the spring and fall, the ranchers moved their cattle from low country to high country in the spring, and then from the high country back down to the low country in the fall. And there are large cattle drives come along these roads. And although we're pulled over to the side, the cattle were absolutely refusing to go by our vehicle. So we ended up backing up about a quarter mile to find ourselves a wash so that we could move out of their way.
Horse traffic.
So the cattle don't look too happy about trying to go by me, so they're scattering to either side. I don't know if there's a pull-off behind me. So after backing up about a quarter of a mile, Corinne found a sandy wash that we could back into. I'm a little concerned about getting stuck, but really not that concerned. I'm more concerned about getting off the road so the cattle can go by us. You'll notice that a lot of the cattle have a gray box hanging from their necks. This is the new electronic fence system for the cattle. It trains the cattle to stay in an area without having to put up a whole lot of barbed wire fence.
So these cattle will be trained to stay in a certain area. They can divide the herd up, put them in smaller areas, and the cattle will be trained to stay within those areas. They do it two ways. One, they provide water in the area they want the cattle to stay. And the second thing is the box is a little satellite system or GPS system that gives the cattle a little buzz if they wander outside of their range. My understanding from talking to both the BLM and a rancher that this system is quite effective and has the huge side benefit that the ranchers don't have to go out and build miles and miles of barbed wire fence. So the fencing really reduces the cost for the ranching, and it also really ensures the cattle stay in the areas they want them to. And it also makes it relatively easy to move them from one area to another. And once the cattle were by, we were back on the road again, heading down the UBDR. Before long, you'll come to another Y in the road. If you take the left, it'll take you out to the Dinosaur tracks. If you keep going, you'll stay on the Utah BDR. We decided to stop at the Dinosaur tracks, primarily because it was getting to be lunchtime, and we were kind of curious.
We're at the Butler Wash Road near Highway 95, and we've taken a little jog off the Utah BDR route to go look at a dinosaur track site.
Yes, so just to be clear, this is the little road that takes you out from Butler Wash Road out to the 95. And it's actually not on the trail itself, just a little jog off the trail.
About a quarter mile.
About a quarter mile. And this is probably also one of those sites that you just want to spend a few minutes and take a little stroll.
Apparently it's about 1/8 of a mile to the dinosaur track, so it's a real quick stop. We're following a nice, easy, sandy track road. It heads back towards the Butler Wash Road from where we parked, and then it apparently goes down and has some markings near where the dinosaur tracks are found. We've come down into a wash, and we're looking around on the rocks to see if we can find what might be tracks. We're not very experienced at this, so we're not quite sure what we're looking at, but we did find these indentations here that look like a three-toed critter of some sort. So I'm not sure if that's the dinosaur tracks or not. If someone knows, you can put it in the comments for us. There's a bunch of pock marks down in the sandstone here, and they're filled with light-colored sand. And we don't know if any of these relate to the dinosaur tracks or not, or whether they're just natural erosion and wind-blown sand filling them. Closer to the road, out of the wash, not in the sandy area, we found this indentation in the rock, and it looks like 3 toes like that. So that could be the dinosaur track we're looking for. On the back side of the sign where we saw the trail map, we found this reference to the tracks and their relative size, and information about what kind of dinosaurs may have walked here 160 million years ago. Well, we hiked out to what we thought would be the dinosaur tracks, and obviously we are in need of a field guide to help identify them. Or someone
We sure do.
or someone needs to paint a circle around them, because we're not good. Even though we've been trained as biologists, we obviously are not good dinosaur trackers.
So the one on the left goes back out to the road,
95.
out to Highway 95. And the one on the right here continues on the trail for about another 10 miles or so, Corinne. That's about right.
Yep.
And we're going to do the trail. So we noticed that since we've gone by the split off that would go to 95, there's been several really nice campsites along this road. So it's a 2-track.
More trees.
And yeah, we're up in the trees again. We're back up in the junipers and I guess the pine trees too. So we've just turned on to a much more main road. It was a left-hand turn when you came to the T-junction. And this looks like it's been very well maintained, so it's probably going up to a mine. It's up the mountain a little ways. And we're going down the road away from the mine. So it's a left-hand turn. So we get another short jaunt on the highway to get to connecting roads. And it looks like this takes us through the construction zone. So they're putting in a new bridge on the road that comes down from natural bridges towards Landing. And you have to wait until the light says we can go. Here's the new bridge they've been building. It's been taking quite a long time. The last couple times we've been here, they have either been taking out or adding to the new bridge. And about 3/4 of a mile from the bridge, make a left-hand turn and you're back on dirt again.
277.
And the road name is, like you heard Corinne say, is 277. You come to the T-junction here, make the sharp left. And you immediately start heading up the hill. It's a little bit more steep road. It's a little bit less well kept than the other roads we've been on today.
Less dirt, more gravel.
Yeah, less dirt, more gravel. So it's really more of a backcountry road that you would typically expect in this area. And it gets very, very steep as you're heading up the road. It's pretty in here. Lots of the big rocks and combination of pine and juniper forest with the big white rocks. A pretty area. And when you come up to the Y, you take the left-hand track.
Just stay on 277.
Stay on 277. The road goes up quite sharply, and it's pretty rough.
I had been driving along in 2-wheel drive until just before we got to this hill, and it shifted to 4-wheel drive, recognizing that it was loose gravel and very steep. Turns out that was probably a really good idea.
And you're rewarded with a beautiful view when you get to the top. Corinne was just pointing out we're driving along the top of a ridge line. So on either side of us there are sharp drop-offs. And the road just seems to be following the spine of the mountain here. Very, very pretty up here. So there's a series of mountains out in the distance there. And what did you call them, Corinne?
Albio.
We think the Spanish pronunciation is probably correct. Beautiful view from up here. So we travel through the pine and juniper forest. The road is in excellent shape. So it's been really not difficult to drive along at all.
Except for that first steep.
Yeah, as Corinne points out, except for the really steep part at the beginning.
That's the gateway to entry.
Yeah. I would not want to be dragging a fifth wheel up there. I bet somebody's done it. Occasionally we run into this, again, more slick rocks. And the road can get a little rough in around that area, but otherwise it's been a pretty easy road so far. Okay, we are coming down to a new road. This is highway, Backcountry Road 268, or County Road 268. 277 sort of ends at 268, or 268 ends at 277. What do you think?
277.
277 ends. We are now on 268, right-hand turn. This looks like it's a little better taken care of road, actually. So we are now on the part of the road. We're still on 268, and this road goes down in a really serious way. Looks like there are at least 2 hairpin turns on the road. Although the road surface is in really, really good shape. It's terrific to drive on from that point of view. A bit boring, but easy. And now we are on our way back up the other side. I can tell from the tone of the engine, it's quite steep. Actually, so that's the first vehicle we've seen in quite a while, at least since we got on the other row at 278.
Yeah.
That's the first speed limit sign we've seen in a while. Of course, it's all shot to crap, so there's that.
Yeah.
And we're back on paved roads again. Is it paved all the way down?
Yeah, I think so. 7 miles.
So we have hit the paved road. So it's time to air up the tires. And we only got about 6 miles down to Blanding on the paved road. So we are on our way down the hill to Blanding. I think this comes out at the museum, right, Corinne?
Yeah, edge of the Cedars State Park.
She said the edge of the Cedar State Park. And we are now coming into Blanding on, what was it, Bushy
Basin Road.
Bushy Basin Road. So if you wanted to come the other way, you would come out this road until you hit the garbage dump at the top, and then air down there. So, Cree, now that we're finished the first section of the Utah BDR, what are your thoughts?
I really enjoyed it. Some of the terrain and vegetation was really varied. So it had the Valley of the Gods that was really cool, structures of rock and things like that. And then we went up into the hills and went through pine and juniper forest. And then a little bit of technical driving over the slick rocky terrain.
Yeah. And then we had some deep sand on the pretty much. It's probably the most popular road of all the roads we were on. We hardly saw anybody except for the Butler Wash Road, which is about the only place we saw a lot of people. And it had some sand on it. Actually, the road coming down into the Butler Wash Road was probably sandier, but really not anything that, quite frankly, a two-wheel drive vehicle couldn't do. So the southern part of the BDR, I would describe as a very scenic road. If you like to come and do a little camping in the backcountry, and have some just absolutely gorgeous views, this is definitely a road to try.
And I would recommend you get like a 7-day BLM permit, or at least a 1-day BLM permit for the Cedar Mesa area, which covers Bears Ears. And that allows you to go out and do hiking at the various ruins.
Yeah, and there are a bunch of them along the Butler Wash area. And then there's Combs Ridge, yeah, along Combs Ridge. There's just a whole bunch of them. And I highly recommend that. We had a great time walking up to some of them. Generally the trails are all pretty short too, so it's not a big issue to walk in from the trailhead.
Yeah, the trails are better on a weekday than a weekend because they do get popular.
Yeah, we came through there on a Saturday and things were very, very busy. So we would recommend that middle of the week or as the good time to come. And also try to pick a time where the weather's not going to be quite so windy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness me. We were never able to put the drone up in the backcountry because the wind was just really, really strong. We saw we was constant 20 miles an hour, and it probably gusts were in the 40 to 50 mile an hour range.
Well, that might be an exaggeration. 35.
Okay, the constant 35 and the gusts were up to the 70 mile range.
Shawn
And they
caught
felt,
a fish that was this big.
yeah. And the more we were out in it, the stronger it seemed to be. So it was very windy. In fact, we're going to plan to stay in a hotel room in Banding tonight, actually get showers and that, which makes it really pleasant. And that really makes it a bit better trip.
And go for some ice cream.
Oh, and go for some ice cream. Yeah, absolutely have to go for some ice cream. We did the trip in a little over 2 days. I would suggest that in late April, that's probably a good time. You could do this. It's only about 100 miles from the beginning of the Valley of the Gods to Blanding, with 15, probably 17 miles of pavement, all told. And so most of it is on the dirt, and it's not so difficult that you couldn't do it in a day. But we found doing it over 2 days was quite comfortable, right? Yeah, we definitely recommend 2 days. So anything else to add to that? Well, that's what we think of the Utah BDRs. Corinne sneezes with the wind and the dust. We sure hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give us a thumbs up.
And if you'd like to see more of our videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below on the right side. We appreciate it. A lot of people haven't been subscribing that are watching, and it would really help us out if you just hit that button, and it doesn't cost you anything.
And it really also helps us out if you leave a comment, a thought, or an idea. Even just say hi. We love to hear from you. We love to know who's watching, so that's always terrific to hear from you. And we really appreciate and we respond to all the comments. Well, until next time, bye for now.
Bye for now.